Hi children, welcome to science class. In previous class we learnt about force, types of forces, contact forces, non-contact forces we learnt. In that one particular force is frictional force or force of friction. I told you we will learn deeply in next lesson. So let us learn more about frictional force or force of friction. What is friction? Do you remember? The opposing force of a moving object. If an object is moving, there is an opposite force to stop the object, to oppose the movement of the object. That opposing force is called force of friction. So if a force is necessary to move an object, another force is required to stop it. For example, you are riding a bicycle. Suddenly something came across your way. What would you do? You have to apply brakes. So if the brakes fail, can you stop the bicycle? No. That required force to stop a vehicle or to stop something is said to be here force of friction. This stopping force can be exerted by a person or an obstacle. So here friction is necessary to stop an object. To stop an object, friction is necessary. This required force is called force of friction. See, after leaving the cart, again it is stop. See, however, the moving object comes to rest even in the absence of these forces. When we hold a pen in vertical directions, there are acting friction and weight. Friction is acting on a pen and weight of the object also acting in overcoming the force or exerted by our fingers. Similarly, when we slide a book on the tabletop, it stops after moving a certain distance. So what is helping it to stop the book? Frictional force. There is an applied force and also there is frictional force. So here the tabletop exerts force on the book which is responsible to slow it down and then stop the relative motion between the tabletop and the book. So friction plays a very important role in our daily lives. Friction is necessary to ride, walk, apply brakes to slow down the vehicle, tie knots, fix nails and screws to move an object. So for all these things friction is necessary. Of course, force of friction is not only tends to stop a moving object, it also tends to stop a stationary object from moving. That is why it is difficult to move heavy box. Can you move a heavy box? So here it is produced only when one body tends to move or is actually moving another body. So here with the help of wheel, the object is moved freely. It always opposes relative motion between the surfaces of contact. Example of contact force, irrespective of the direction of force. So applied force in one direction and frictional force in another direction. Look at the box, children. Can you move this stationary object? Which is stationary, which is not moving. It's not a moving object, but it is stationary, which is settled on a floor. Can you move this? To move this object, you have to apply force. As you apply continuously increasing force to the stationary object, the force of friction also increases. The force of friction between two or more solid objects which are not moving relative to each other is called static friction. This kind of friction is called static friction. The force of friction between two or more solid objects which are not moving, which there is no movement relative to each other. So it is called static friction. The friction which is relatively unmoving objects, in between unmoving objects. As you apply more force, there comes a point when the object starts moving. At this point, the static friction is the maximum. As much force as you are applying, the same force in opposite way will be applied by the floor. So that is the static friction. So if you apply more force, in reverse the static friction also will be more. It will be maximum. Once the box begins to move, it is easier to slide it. So what happens here? This is because now relative to the floor, the box is moving and the irregularities of the box and the floor do not get enough time to lock into each other. Due to the interlocking of the floor and the object, there is a friction. Between the floor and the box, there are some irregularities, so that there will be interlocking. But here the floor is smooth, so there are no irregularities, so that we can move the box easily. Okay, so once you start sliding the box, it starts moving. So it is not in contact with the floor, not in one place having contact with the floor. So it doesn't have enough force or enough time to lock into each other. This friction produced between a surface and an object sliding over it is called sliding friction. The friction which is in between stationary objects is called static friction, whereas in between sliding, even one object must be in movement. So that friction is called sliding friction. The friction produced between a surface and an object sliding over it is called sliding friction. Look at these pictures, children. Which is easier to move the box? In the first box or in the second box? Which is more easy to move? In the first picture or in the second picture? What is the difference between 1 and 2? In the first picture, the box is having wheels, right? In the second picture, there are no wheels. Which is easier? Tell me now. The first box, right? Very good. Because moving a box kept on a stand with the help of wheels is much easier as the wheels roll over the surface of the floor. Here, while you are pushing it, while you are applying force, the wheels are helping you to move the object. As we learnt about sliding friction, here the wheels are not interlocking with the floor, so that they slide over the surface. So it will be easier to move the box. So this friction is called rolling friction. When the object is stationary, that is static friction. When the object is sliding over the surface is called sliding friction. Whereas when the object is rolling with the surface is called rolling friction. Here listen, children, I told you or I explained you three kinds of frictions or three types of friction. The first one is static friction, second one is sliding friction, and the third one is rolling friction. Tell me again. Static friction, sliding friction, rolling friction. Static friction is also called self-adjusting friction. Self-adjusting friction. Whereas sliding friction is called kinetic friction. Kinetic friction. And this is rolling friction. Look here, children, if we compare these frictions, force required to start the motion of an object is less than the force required to continue to keep it in motion. Okay. If the object is already in motion, we need less force or less applying force to move it. But if it is in stationary mode, we have to apply more force, right? So it is easy to observe that the force required to start the motion of an object is more than the force required to continue to keep it in motion. It is thus justified to say that sliding friction is less than static friction. What I mean to say is, sliding friction is less than static friction. That means less applying force is required for sliding friction and more applied force is required for the static friction. If we compare with the third type of friction, Also, rolling an object is easier than sliding it, isn't it? Rolling an object is easier than sliding it. So, rolling friction is required much less force than the sliding friction, and sliding friction is require less force than the static friction. So, what we can say here? Rolling friction is less than, sliding friction is less than static friction. So we can also say like this: static friction is greater than sliding friction is greater than rolling friction. In reverse, rolling friction is less than, sliding friction is less than static friction. Here, according to this relation, static friction is greater than sliding friction and sliding friction is greater than rolling friction. In which it is greater? In applying force, as we have to apply more force to move an object from the static mode, it is required more force. So, static friction is requiring more force when compared to sliding friction, and when compared to rolling friction, sliding friction is required more friction. Now you understood why it is convenient to pull a heavy travel bag fitted with rollers than sliding it. So the principle of rolling friction is used in machines by using ball bearing. See, to carry a heavy bag is very difficult, right? To carry it, but with the help of rollers it is easy to pull it. Even a child can pull the rollers bag, right? So here it is a application of rolling friction. Ball bearings are small metallic balls which roll between two moving surfaces and reduce friction between them. Ball bearings. Ball bearings you can find in your bicycles. Have you ever checked while your bicycle is getting repaired at the mechanic shop? You can find some balls in between the chain system. Have you seen in the axle? So you might have seen there some balls in between the chain because to reduce the friction they are using ball bearings. That system is called ball bearings. To understand the friction, let us consider the following example. Place the ball on the floor and push the ball to set it rolling. What happened? You will observe that the ball shows slowing down. The ball slows down after covering some distance and finally stops rolling and comes to a stop. Is there any force that acts on the ball and stops it? As we knew, friction acts between two surfaces on contact, which can be solid, liquid or gas. Friction exists in solids, liquids and even in gases. So till now we understood, children, frictional force. It is difficult to push on the rough surface. As you are applying force, there is an opposite force to oppose the object, to stop the object of the movement of the object. So it is difficult to push a heavy box or heavy object on the rough surface, whereas it is somewhat easy to push a box on the smooth surface, right? Because here the contact force is less when compared to the frictional force, and there is no interlockings on the smooth surface. But here on the rough surface there are more irregularities. There will be interlocking of the objects with the two objects. So there is required more force to move the object, and here it is required on the smooth plane surface to move the object or to push a heavy object. Okay. So with this activity we understood, as we are moving the book, after covering some distance the book stopped or come to rest position. The similar way, when we push back the book after covering some distance, the book comes to rest position. And we also notice that while we are walking on a slippery floor, if the floor is slippery, we may slide it, we may slip on the floor. So what is the reason? Because the sole of the shoes shoe is having less friction. so that it is unable to stick to the floor or unable to having grip on the floor, so that our sole of the shoe may get slip on the floor. So this happens because of less friction with the floor having contact with our soles or shoes. So friction is helpful to enable us to walk on a ground. Friction is helpful to walk on the floor, even to write on your notebook. Without friction, we can't write, we can't walk, we can't eat even we can't eat. So friction is very essential to us. Let's do an activity here. Take a brick and tie it with a string and attach to the spring balance, and pull the brick by using suspended string with the help of spring balance, and notice what is the value is recorded on the spring balance. How much force is applied on the spring balance you can see on the recording of the spring balance. In second phase, put the brick in a polythene cover or a polythene bag. Now pull the brick. What is the applied force on that? Here you might have noticed there is less force applied on the second case. In the first case it is in the middle of the reading. In the second case, in the less force, it is applied less force. And in the third position, put the brick in a sack. Okay, in a sack. Now pull the object with the help of spring balance. You might have noticed that there is a lot of applied force. The highest applied force is required to pull the object. So what happened here? In the first case, the brick and the floor are having less contact. When you put the brick or wrapped the brick in a polythene bag, the surface became more smooth, so that the applied force also less. In the third case, it is kept in the sack, a cloth bag or sack. So it requires more force to pull it, because there are more irregularities between the surface and the sack, so that applied force is highest. So here we can understand that it is because the polythene bag makes the brick surface smooth and reducing the friction between the brick surface and the ground. However, the jute bag increases the friction because of its rough surface. Do another activity. Make an inclined plane. Inclined plane means take some wooden block or something and make your plank to arrange your plank like this, and leave a battery on the inclined plane or on the plank. So what will happen? It slides on the plank and stops after covering some distance, right? Because there is friction in between the floor and the battery. Okay, not only battery, any rolling object you can slide it. Now spread a thin sheet of cloth on the table. Now do this activity again. So what will happen in the second case? The battery slides over the inclined plane, but it stops after covering a little distance. In the first case it covered more distance, but in the second case it covered less distance. So what is the problem here, or what do you observe here? There is more rough surface in between the battery and the floor, so that it covered less surface, and in the first case there is less friction, so that it is covered more distance. So you can observe the pencil cell covering different distances on different surfaces. So which means the friction offered in second case is higher than the first case. So dependency of friction force, we can see nature of surface. So less friction on smooth surface and greater friction on the more surface, because on the smooth surface, see the irregularities of smooth surface and object, whereas irregularities of rough surface and object. Here there are more irregularities, so that to overcome the irregularities, the object or the person should apply more force to overcome the irregularities. so that they required more applied force. So friction depends on the nature of surface. Friction depends on the nature of surface. Smooth surface provides less friction, whereas rough surface provides more friction. Okay children, here we have a lab activity to understand the nature of friction and the concept of static friction. Here a lab activity is given in your textbooks. For that you require a toy trolley, a small wooden block, inextensible string, weight hanger, weights, pulley and table. Okay, what you have to do is tie the toy trolley with the help of string, and here you have to fix a pulley and weight hanger. Like this you have to hang the weights. Now what you have to do is add the weights. You can do this activity with the help of small stones. Here in place of weight hanger, you can tie a small weightless bag. So you can put one stone in that, a small stone, and here you can use trolley. Here pulley is needed. Okay, pulley means a small roller also you can use, so that it will be helpful to roll the string easily, because we knew about rolling friction, right? So on the table you have to do this. So put the toy trolley like this. On the trolley place a wooden block. Okay children, place a wooden block. Now add the weights to the weight hanger. Add the weights. So what is happened? What happens? As you are increasing the weights, the pulley starts moving. The pulley starts moving. That means it pulls the string so that the trolley moves forward. In this direction the trolley moves. As you are increasing the weights more, the trolley moves more. You have to do this activity until the trolley moves to the end of this table. And what happens later also you can check. You might have noticed that after reaching certain distance, the trolley moves back or travels back. So, and along with that, the wooden block also moves. The wooden block also moves. We may notice that the trolley with the block on it moves towards the left with an acceleration. It gets acceleration. What is acceleration? The rate of velocity in certain time. Okay, you learnt in previous class what is acceleration? Velocity by time. In that particular time, what is the velocity changes or speed changes, that is called acceleration. So here the block is at rest with respect to the surface of the trolley, but it is in motion with respect to the surface of the table. Actually the block is